I bear you thoughts of warmth and longing. These streets I've wandered, the ones I've never gone wandering. Find people in tall buildings, akin to night swimming. The swiftness of things rising.
Can I get a crystal ball? Oh, back to life. Your heart is taken to shoot.
So I'm just having a look at some of these papers that are concerned with self-directed support, which is something that we have in our house. Let me, if I may, tell you the story, why.
Mummy, tell us.
Okay, I will tell us.
I found out about self-directed sport through my social worker.
And she suggested it to us for a start to help with respite.
And she was saying, would you not be better with some type of support? Because just seeing every time she came, the place was getting worse and worse. And I was sort of getting worse and worse.
So we found that was a real lifeline, and we've tried it. It's been set up. It wasn't as complicated as we thought, and it's worked very well for us so far.
This will be an opportunity for me to try new things. So here I am. For people to choose what they want to do.
We're sitting just now in a motorhome that Direct Payments helped us to buy so that Paul could go away for weekends and we could have respite care in an environment that was safe and understandable for Paul. We found there was nothing particularly, for want of a better word, in the system that we found suitable for Paul's needs, and we wanted to try and make Paul's day and week as active as possible and try and find individual things that would really meet his needs.
Sean, how do you think your self-directed sport payments have helped you?
Good.
Good. What benefit do you get out of them?
Going
away with Ryan.
Every day trip possible, every Costa shop possible, every place for lunch possible. And Sean just takes control of the whole day basically.
And one thing that I'm really wanting to try and get organised to go to do is quilting classes. I've done a lot of patchwork and quilting many years ago, and now that I have the time, I want to renew my interest in the patchwork and quilting.
I'd gotten him some group music sessions, which he did with his siblings were involved as well, and that was fun to see them all be able to do something together. And the New Age curling as well, he was able to take part with them, and so often he's kind of on his own doing whatever suits him. So that was nice to have that family involvement. And I also got an ice cream maker because he loves ice cream, but I felt like, as we all do, but I feel like we just would go and get it and sit and eat it and then go home. And I thought there could be more to it than that. So in the end, he was helping me to mix up the mixture for the ice cream and pour it in and see it actually going, and he'd watch, he was watching it turning, and then we all could eat it together, and the other ones got involved as well. And then that just feeds in with how you see each other as a family, and certainly how you see that the individual, otherwise it could quite easily be we're all sort of helping to take care of Adam, but what that means is actually we're all learning who he is and who we are together.
And as Declan gets older, he's starting to question why Rogan's doing things that he's maybe not getting to do, and now we're able to say, well, actually you can, because we've got a way forward for you to try it.
Got another project. What's a new one then? Come on.
We know what I hear the tip of my.
But you know how you go to Duffy Park and there's actually a wheelchair bike there, but this one's better. We would have been riding a bike, and another one could have hired a bike as well. So we were kind of thinking, is there the cut in Aberdeen? Yeah, it was 2 bikes, but one's broken. I wonder if we could maybe, we're actually thinking of starting this up.
That's another thing you've got to use your SDS money for.
Yeah, and Ryan's going to help him do that.
He has control of what he wants to do and when he wants to do it.
Indeed.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Enjoy that bit of it.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful.
We were pretty comfortable and so used to paying for things.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel as though we were entitled to this money. And once we found out that we got the money, it's like, how do you spend the money?
Finding the right placements for him is the most difficult part. Knowing where to look. But I will say that over the last months and years, it's got better because more information has become available.
I did have a social worker that said to me, if it's on Declan and it's legal, you're pretty much good to go. So once we kind of wrapped our heads around that, it just opened up this whole world of all the things that we could do and we could try. And I think if you've got a child that's on the autistic spectrum, sometimes it's really hard to say, well, I'd like him to try that. We have to pay for a term up front. It's £40. If he only stays for one session, £40 is quite a lot of money. Then you could think, well, it's not my money, it's his money. So we use that to pay for what he wants to try. And if he only wants to try it once, it was his money. He can try it just once and that's okay. But for his parents, it reduces your stress level because you're not thinking, I've worked that many hours and you didn't even want to stay. But you can think, well, you can relax down and say, well, that's okay, kiddo. You didn't want to try it more than once, that's fine because that was your money. You chose to do that, it didn't work. We'll choose the next thing.
And as it's happened, it's been wonderful since then. Worked it perfectly.
He's now got a bit more of a social life, and he's met a friend Dale, who's I think doing some gardening, and actually we're going to ask them to come and help us and help Paul because he's got a little vegetable patch. And so maybe Paul and Dale can actually do something together, which will give them, some working experience together, but also grow their social side together, which I thought would be really good for them.
I've been working with Dale for 2 years now, just over 2 years. We're going into the 3rd year. So through the 2nd year, Dale and I have slowly built up a business, and it's D&S Gardens, so Dale and Stuart's Gardens. And through the payments as well, we've managed to, I don't know if you'll get it in shot at some point, Dale's sheds in the background here, and got quite a lot of equipment in there that again has been brought through some of the profits from what we've managed to earn, but mostly through the direct payments.
Don't be afraid to ask and to think out of the box. If you've got an idea, the team are really approachable, and if it's within your budget and you've got an idea and you can explain your idea, they'll listen to you, and you never know what you might be able to do. It can open up a lot of possibilities that you thought you maybe would never do.
The great advantage of it is that you are in control.
I think the freedom and the control aspects are absolutely important for the individual, and then as a parent trying to find ways to support my child, feeling like I'm involved in that is really helpful, and not just recipients of whatever is given.
I could what somebody would actually I get the best of forever.
The ability to employ my own PAs made a massive difference.
Emily. So one of the first things and the biggest things is that we're able to access and pay and pick ourselves a personal assistant.
You can't self-employ people, but I actually do it through the payroll company. PAs are then there to do basically what you've employed them to do.
Routine, consistency and continuity, it has to be.
I hire the cleaners through the self-directed support payments.
You're here and somebody comes and they bring the outside world in and chat a little bit. So, yes, it brings a smile to our face.
The person who you've got now, you get on with them really well.
Really well. He's really well. He's nice guy. Yeah.
She's virtually part of the family.
She's become absolutely part of our family. The first week that she came here, and Dennis was away, she took Declan away for 4 hours. I actually cried because it was the fear of letting him go, but just the release that somebody else was going to watch him who I trusted and was capable to.
It's been great this last year having Ryan, having this kind of support, and we couldn't have done it without the increase in the SDS money as well.
It's also having someone there emotionally supporting me. There's someone there to take you places.
To have help with the children, not just for Aaron on his own, but so we're able to do things as a family.
It's just that with Adam I need extra help. That's the main thing. You know, if he wants to do a class, I either have to do it with him or get somebody else to help him because he's one-to-one.
It's impossible for me as a parent to go away with a physically disabled child the size of my son, the amount of equipment he needs, without
how big a fella, yeah.
I think from Bennett's point of view, it also gives him a break from me. Which I think it's not a bad thing. But also, you know, it lets him build a more sustained relationship with the person who's coming in, because it's the same person all the time. And that is something that we've really worked at, making sure that happens.
You've got to get someone who you can get along with. I think that's the main thing. Because if it was someone who I didn't get along with or couldn't communicate as myself and Nettie are, it wouldn't have worked the same.
Some of Paul's staff can go with the motorhome with Paul. They can drive, and there's private, areas at each end of bed, so it's a really safe and structured environment, which is what Paul needs.
And I think having the PAs and having the support had started to make an effect, a positive effect on my illness.
One of the things that Emily's worked really hard with Declan is just getting to hold his hand and go to parks and stuff like that. That's Daddy's grown up lightsaber.
You don't know.
He's found it.
Because
you don't know how.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
I go light and go.
Oh, Declan, please
They've got their lightsabers on top of the box, you know. So Dad goes out and he's the father.
Me being in control of my care and puts me back in control of my life, because when you have something like this happen to you, you lose control. You lose your voice, you lose where you are, who you are. So you're able to pull that back, and then when you're actually employing people and you have people there doing it for you, you feel as though you're back in control of things.
More, absolutely more control.
It's helped my mood. I'm more relaxed.
Happy.
Happy. A happy what? A happy child.
Know that the kids are happy and safe and looked after.
Because their needs are so different, the little bit of time, either for someone to take Adam and do something that he really loves, or, and enable me to be with the other kids, it's valuable.
Aaron is 4 and he has a diagnosis of ADHD and autism spectrum disorder. He's a very, very happy boy, but lots of energy, likes to run around all the time. On the go non-stop, very affectionate. I've also got a daughter, Amber, who's 8, who's really good with her brother, but it's nice for her to be able to get some one-on-one time with her mum.
Well, when Emily comes, it's a really huge help to both my mum and me, because when Emily's around in the house, it will mean that I'll get a rest from Declan, and that Emily will have some time with Declan. Even though I have a hard job in dealing with Declan, it actually it actually becomes a fun game because I keep him occupied by doing fun games that we both know. Ooh, I love fun games.
When you hear him say things like, well, it means I get a rest, you think, God, yeah, kiddo, you're right, so you can get a rest too. And for Brogan, he can't really remember anything else but having Declan.
No.
You know, this is just how it is. And he does cope really well. He's 9, he's just a child. He's just a child himself. He didn't ask for all of this. And he is an incredibly good big brother.
I love control of my budget. I love making work and the community. There's help in your leader.
Now that I feel Adam's, interests are broadening, his development is coming on and requiring a bit more input from different sources. So maybe, you kind of get to this point where you feel like I don't really know what to do for him to help him. And, so maybe changing things around, changing the options he has available to him would be helpful now. I think the first thing I thought when I heard self-directed support and that we would be in control of doing things for Adam is that it meant everything else would stop and we would just have to start from scratch. And that was a bit nerve-wracking, but knowing that, his respite can continue, or the things that we need that are in place will continue, is actually huge for us. That's really helpful.
I found it a bit difficult initially because my head's not quite for figures. I've got a bit of dyslexic and a little tiny bit of autism. So I found it quite difficult initially.
A bit daunting to begin with.
Because there's quite a lot of admin.
There's a lot of forms.
Which can take quite a bit of your time up.
And I keep all the receipts.
You need things like a new bank account, because you have to have a separate bank account.
That was actually the most difficult part of the process, because they wanted to send us a credit card, they wanted to give us an overdraft,
Lots of them.
Which Ben thought was great, but trying to explain to him it wasn't our money, this money was just to be used for that, and trying to explain to the bank that we didn't need all these other bits, that was the most tricky bit of it. But the actual process through the council was extremely easy. We had super people that we could contact if we needed any help. And there was always somebody at the end of the phone, if you weren't sure about something. And once the process was in place, then that was really helpful.
So that took a lot more time, and I think that is perfectly legitimate to expect that kind of input. If you're getting money for your child, you're doing that in return. But I think my only concern would be that families are already pretty stressed.
Instead of just going along with what's there, you can actually tailor something to suit your lifestyle, your needs, whatever they are. And as long as you're comfortable and understand your budget and know how to work with that, and it's not difficult because you get a fixed amount of money and you have to just account for it all the time. It's really quite straightforward.
Having gone from no idea what self-directed support is, just hearing the words and not really being sure of how it would impact our family, and then we've now attended the second pilot program for self-directed support, and now I'm really encouraged by how it helps families, and I'm definitely looking forward to finding out more about it and taking part.
It was it for the support. I don't know what I would do. You had a girl on your own life. And it's the best choice I ever made. That's my story.
I think, in short, direct payments has improved my life drastically.
It's been one of the best things that's happened to us. I was so stressed before we started to get direct payments, riddled in psoriasis with stress. When you're with an autistic child that's got no concept of danger, you're just walking on eggshells the whole time. And I didn't really appreciate how much I needed a break into what was given to me.
Having the self-directed support means that we're not only concentrating on Aaron singly, it's concentrating on everyone as a family.
Oh, it's helped a great deal. For one, mentally, instead of seeing a slum, I've now got a flat, which I used to have before. So that's a huge step in the right direction when your head's up your arse, really. It's in the right place.
It works for me. Yeah.
If they're able to do it. Because it's much better for my mental health.
And it was fun to see him playing the drums and, you know, really getting into it. You know, he loves that, and we just don't get to see him love something, you know, and enjoy doing something on a daily basis. So. And
I really can't think why everybody doesn't take it up. It's there, it's available, and there's no complication. If you seek the help, you get the help, and the help is beneficial, no doubt about it.
It does give me that initial little bit of respite, and it means that because it's on a regular basis, then I can plan things. And I know that Bernard is safe when I'm out, so therefore that relieves the anxiety for me. And because it is a very stressful situation that you're living in all of the time.
I was at the stage of having to give up work altogether because I was off work so much during the year of 2009, 2010, that they were about ready to, unfortunately, have to let me go. You're not a viable employee, and it makes sense. However, they stuck by me. This all came into place, and I'm now being able to continue working, which is one of my goals, and I intend to do it for quite a long time.
As a parent, there's often a lot of walls we run up against in trying to get something, you know, trying to find something for your child that suits them. And so if we have the support of, you know, the wider self-directed support network, then that's I think opens a lot of doors.
Well, before we were on direct payments, Paul was in a residential environment, and we found that it wasn't really suitable for Paul. He had to fit in with what was happening there, and it wasn't really catering to Paul's needs. So a lot of the time, unfortunately, what we found was he was just kind of being cared for and looked after, but he wasn't developing in any way, and he wasn't doing things that was specific to his needs and his likes and dislikes.
I'm in a position now from a number of years ago where I had nothing and was relying very heavily on family, to now having people that are there, that's specifically their job to look after me.
The old system had to do things a certain day, certain time, certain thing, no way.
We know for a fact, you know, Paul is a lot happier and more fulfilled in what he does than he was before. You can see the difference in him. It's night and day.
This system suits me a lot better.
It's something that's been really beneficial for Sean.
It's made a huge difference to Paul's life. He's able to do much more. His world's bigger. It's made a massive difference to Paul. He's a lot happier.
It gives me much more flexibility, and I'm my own boss.
Having the support that I have now has made a big difference of keeping me out of hospital. It's changed from being 7 or 8 times, if not more, in hospital per year to over the last year I haven't been in hospital at all. I'm going to touch wood because I'm very conscious of not being in hospital, but I believe that having all of this support and all of this care that's done it. It's the same as keeping me in my job. If I hadn't been given the care and the help that I've got now, I definitely would have been unemployed.
I think it's really helpful, you know, to be encouraged to take those steps and seek out something new and to seek out a different opportunity or an experience, and to feel like I'm part of Adam's life in a way that I wasn't before, even if it's slightly daunting, because now I'm responsible for, you know, things the way I wasn't before. It's also really positive for us.
Was the Paul fitting the system? It's made the system fit Paul.
And I suggest to you that you would find it probably to your advantage to try. It's a good scheme. It's easily worked with the support you get. The care manager is at the end of a phone anyway, and they will give you all the help you need. So I suggest at least you investigate and try it. And all I can say is good luck and good caring. And I'm going to put this away because I don't need it again for another 6 months.